I personally don't give a flying fuck what you've been listening to, but Spill Milk is back.
Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj.
I am the reigning legendary host. My name is Demetria, mother of kittens, mother of Petty, mother of the fucking Bernadettes, co-owner of the 0110011 Helen Keller.
Legendary Helen Keller.
Legendary Helen Keller. I am the legendary host of the Elizabeth Warrens, the Warrenettes. Sitting across from me, the beautiful, the sitting, the face you wish you had, the bundles of the 7 C's, braided up underneath this wig cap. The wig to my motherfucking wig cap. Dakota the Lee. Hey Dakota. How have you been, daughter?
I'm good. How are you?
I am lit. Hi guys. We haven't seen you in a while, and we are back to be back.
We're back.
Yeah, we gave you bitches a minute, and like Nicki Minaj, I'm I gave you bitches a minute, and now I'm back. Since we've been gone, the podcast has grown now as a podcast now to a fucking movement. I.e. MLK Weekend was a successful event. We had a little kickback, and then we had a Spill Milk X brunch, and the girls came out. I would like to introduce 2 new members to the fucking team. Well, not new members, because my bitch has been on. But my girl stepped up and said, we're about to eat. Bitch, I been on. Bitch, you King Kong. I would first like to introduce our new...
Legendary Butch Queens.
The Legendary Butch Queens. Yes. I would like to introduce the new DJ to Spilled Milk. Legendary. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let the girls introduce themselves.
No, I like how you introduce the elders. Okay.
I want to give you the Butch Queen to the Butch Queens, the father to the kittens.
Yes.
The I know you, but you don't know me.
Ooh.
the legendary DJ Papa K. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
we're gonna go with that.
Legendary DJ.
So softly.
Legendary DJ.
Hello, everybody.
Right. Keith is now our legendary host DJ.
Yes, I'm the house DJ. What's really good?
I will announce that every episode going forward will have a playlist of 10 to 15 songs pertaining to the episode. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music, and he will be the one in charge, and he's about to eat that.
Ow.
Moving forward, the legendary mystical girl.
Legendary.
With our powers combined.
Okay.
I am Captain Motherfucking Class. Our resident mystical girl. She is now the new IE manager of Spilled Milk. Brandisha, hi, daughter.
Hi, hey.
Wow.
Legendary house father has made it into the kittens.
The kittens. I just want everybody to know that Spill Milk is now a movement. It's no longer a podcast. We want to bring love and light, as the girls want to claim, moving forward to our movement. And it's not only a podcast. You will get music. You will get events. You will get a 1-2 moving along. I will reveal as we move along moving forward what it gives. But for right now, the announcements are there is a playlist for every episode coming forward. And I want to say we're going to go with May, correct? That parties and events will start happening and they will get revealed as such. Mm-hmm. Now that we've got the motherfucking announcement.
And I know that everybody says that their parties are for the people. But it's really for the people.
It's for the people.
It's really for the people.
It's for the people. And when I say for the people, it gives... When we throw events...
It's for our people.
Right.
Our people.
And that's what it needs to give.
Yes.
As we have the events, it's going to give... We want you to come out. Don't worry about money, because we got it. But you're gonna, yeah.
Have fun, be safe.
A little donation.
We ain't gonna break your pockets, but
yeah, a little dollar or two will give a little. But we want to make parties and events for us. We've gone to many events over the year where we gave bitch, we could throw our own shit. And Spill Milk is growing into now a movement, so why not throw events in the name of? the legendary of. But aside all that, we are here to do an episode, so let's get into topic. Today's topic for episode 1 is giving social anxiety, and I have a good lady to tell me about it. So, Wendy, if you please.
Sorry for you. Shout out to everybody with social anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, girls.
Today's topic is going to be about social anxiety. For me personally, I'm going to keep saying for me. Because the girls on Twitter don't understand for me is not for you, it's for what? Me. A lot of you use social anxiety for clout. And you want your numbers and you want your retweets. And I get it.
Ooh.
But it's late. But today, for social anxiety, we're going to talk about the actual social anxiety and what it means to people and what it is. I have a definition for social anxiety, and it gives a mental health disorder where social interaction calls irrational anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I have no notes, bitch.
No, you have no. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I believe you.
She gave notes. I'm gonna go around the room and ask, what does social anxiety
Don't
mean?
start with me. I see you looking.
I was gonna look at you. Wow. I'm gonna ask everybody what social anxiety means to everybody. So Dakota the lead as the co-host, who goes first?
Literally, this whole first page is that answer.
Go ahead.
It's road reading because it's easy, like to explain.
Yes.
Okay, social anxiety is just like it's an anxiety disorder. It's one form of it. You can have many different types of anxiety,
Got
but
it.
social anxiety is just one where people normally are just, they get very anxious when when they're trying to speak in front of other people. And it's really called evaluation apprehension, and it really means that they get really apprehensive about like people evaluating them. So people like in their head they're going thinking like, do people think I'm funny? Like, is that funny? Are people thinking I'm making a mistake? Like, would people mock me like after I speak? And these people are like, when you have social anxiety, you're normally fine, like you're doing your one-to-one thing, like if you're on the phone with somebody, like you can hold down your thing. It's just literally when it comes time to like do like a presentation or like go on stage or like a group project or something, when you have to speak, you get really, really anxious and you start making mistakes like fumbling over your words, and that starts affecting your performance. It happens to kids, it happens to adults, it happens like, it happens to everybody.
You ate this.
Thank you so much.
But does it happen to you?
Does it happen to me?
Yeah. Do you have forms of anxiety?
I have forms of anxiety, but I don't have social anxiety.
Right.
I don't have social anxiety.
Brandon, what is your
And I don't have anxiety, sorry. I just get anxious. It's a difference.
What
I don't
is
wanna
your
explain it.
what is your definition of anxiety, Brandon?
I don't know if I have a definition of anxiety. I know what I experience though, which is forms of social anxiety where like if I feel like my commentary has to be judged or evaluated, or I feel like I'm like interviews. I don't even like the word interviews at times because it's like I know how to converse. That's what I do. That is one of my gifts, the gifts of jab. But it's like when I feel like I have to present myself in a way, or I have to explain myself, like this is what I do, this is who I am, X, Y, and Z. I have to showcase a certain part of me. It could make me feel like the walls are going like this, and that's what it feels like. Even now, coming here, it's not like I am having anxiety, but there are forms of like the walls are crashing in. Like, what are you gonna say? And you feel like this, and then it's just like, wait, unplug, like, just get out your head.
But it's also like a difference between like people get anxious.
Right.
And anxious, it's like, and I don't want to talk about this until we talked about people using it for like clout and stuff.
I'll get into that.
I'll wait. But there's just there's a difference between like feeling anxious in a moment and
Right.
like actually having anxiety.
Anxiety.
And I don't think the people know the difference.
What's the difference?
I can
Before
explain
we get into
later.
it, Key, what's your definition of social anxiety?
I mean,
For you.
For me,
Yes.
honestly, I'm never gonna lie to you. I just recently learned about it. I thought what they explained to me with social anxiety that's anxiety period.
Anxiety.
So with like Summer Walker, I'm getting into like a real true definition of what it is and all that. So, still learning.
Before we start into the actual topic, let's lighten the mood for 5 seconds. Dakota.
I knew you were gonna say that, and I was gonna prepare something, and I didn't, and I'm not. I didn't prepare.
As the first episode of the new season, we have to do guess this lyric.
Oh, why did I think it was a cat thing? And I was like, I don't have a cat for you.
No, okay.
I was like, I'm sorry, y'all.
That's coming, but
it's mad late, and I didn't have a cat.
It's okay. It's coming, but it's not yet. It's
all right. That's the lyric. I got this one.
You ready? Are you sure?
No, never am.
All right, here we go. If you don't like the way I talk, then why am I on your mind?
Oh, this is my bitch Dua.
If you don't like the way I walk,
motherfucking Lipa.
then why you finish your glass of wine? We fight and we argue, you still love me blind. If we don't fuck this whole shit up,
guarantee I can blow your mind. Wow. It's
My
Dua,
bitch-
yes.
My bitch
blow
told
your
me to see the
mind.
video with Dua Lipa and she knew it.
I knew
Y'all
Dua.
know that.
I live Miss Dua. Shout out to
Legendary
Dua
Dua
Lipa.
Lipa.
Shout out to her.
Dua Peep?
With her
Dua
Peep.
Legendary Dua
with a future nostalgic
Yes.
album. All right, so going back to the topic, Dakota, I'm gonna let you do your Coda facts.
Yes.
You're not gonna listen.
It's a new segment, Coda
I'm
facts.
laughing at that too because I looked at the show notes and was like,
Coda facts.
what are the facts?
Coda facts is my bitch is gonna give you some facts about social anxiety.
Yeah, I got a bunch. What do you want? I have
You start
symptoms.
wherever you feel like starting.
I have statistics.
No, you start wherever you want to start. And then
Start with the numbers.
Well,
Start with the numbers.
So, social anxiety statistics according to psychcom.net. 15 million Americans adults are affected by social anxiety, majority being women. That's 6.8% of the U.S. population that is affected. Social anxiety can be fully treated with CBT, which we can talk about later, but it's just basically therapy. One study found that 85% of participants were able to drastically improve or recover with the therapy alone. Symptoms for social anxiety are fear of being criticized, noticed, or commented upon, fear to say something in a formal public situation, feeling insecure and out of place in social situations.
Okay.
And that's all.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question for y'all. So, how do you think, preferably, because I feel like I'm gonna get into that later on of how like people use social anxiety for clout, but realistically, when people actually have social anxiety, how do you feel that affects somebody like day-to-day basis? I'll go first because I actually have coworkers that suffer from social anxiety, and today they actually like resigned because it was too much for them.
Right.
I have one person where their social anxiety is so bad that to the point where like they start sweating uncontrollably, where they don't want the attention on them, and it becomes once like the situation becomes like, okay, well you have to now take charge. It becomes, I can't handle this, and then like they're like sweating bullets. They're to the point where like I need a 15 on top of their an hour for break. I have another person where their social anxiety hits them so much where they have to go home for the day, and that also happened today. I can't do this. It's too much. I have to go home. So what I gather from that is that their social anxiety is too much to the point where like the minute they really have interaction, like their anxiety is like times 100. It doesn't affect everybody like that, but theirs is to the point where they can't be in where they are. Like they have to leave.
Like the article I'm going to read in a few. That's exactly.
Yes,
There's
my
different
business came with
forms.
article.
There's different forms of anxiety. Like for me, I know I could present live, but like let's say for example, I had to give somebody an honorary speech, or I had to go in front of a crowd. I think it would just be too much. Like even thinking about it, sitting here thinking about it would be too much for me. Just having all of those eyes on me, and it's a form of in the moment you have to kind of I guess remove yourself because since I was young, it's happened, and I figured out ways to just maneuver out of it, to just find myself in the present and just be like, wait, just get your ass out your fucking head and understand that you're in the present. Like there's a phone here, there's somebody there. 5 things. That's what I tell everybody that I know deals with anxiety. It's like pull yourself out of it and find yourself in the present. what are 5 things that you actually see in reality? Because sometimes it does feel like everything is just like
Right. It's getting closing in.
closing in.
Okay.
You can't get out, and that's how I feel. And that is also a form of people who can't give up control sometimes. When you are too much in your head and trying to control the outcome of situations, you put yourself in a predicament. Not you put yourself in a predicament, but sometimes your brain will wire itself to put itself in a predicament where it's like, I can't control the environment, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know these social events that I'm about to go into, who's going to be there, who all is going to be judging me, how do I have to look, X, Y, Z, and before you know it, now you creating these scenarios where it's like,
That's
I have
me.
anxiety, and it's like, wait, just,
Keep
it's just like, whoa, sweet, just like, just.
Basically, just what he said. Like, I like to feel like I'm gonna control the whole situation,
Okay.
and yeah.
The minute it doesn't really feel like it's going your way, what is it, like you shut down, or like you feel like everything's closing in on you?
Yeah, closing in on me. Yeah.
What is like one of your like methods as somebody that is really like, what is your like, okay, let me reset to calm myself down? Because I'll explain, like my coworkers, like they get to the point where they have to leave, like there's no calming them down.
Yeah, I mean, you do need to take a moment to yourself, like a walk, anything. Like what Brandon said, name 5 things. I've heard that method in a lot of different like treatments for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like, just name 5 things that you see, because it gets your mind off of what you
Yes.
deep into. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, just I take a walk, talk to myself. I'm my best friend for real. So just like get yourself together, and then I keep people around me. That, like Brandon said, just get out your head. Get out your head and stop trying to control or stop
Yes.
feeling like you're gonna be judged, because that's what it is. It's like just feel real insecure.
Okay. Coda, you mentioned earlier that you don't technically have social anxiety, but you're anxious.
No, I have anxiety. I'm an anxious person, and I would say that I have high functioning anxiety.
Okay.
But I do not have social anxiety.
Okay.
So there's like different things make me anxious,
Can
but
you-
not being in a social setting ever makes me anxious.
Can you divulge a little bit into that?
Like things that make me anxious? Shit. It's actually, I don't know why I'm blanking now, because there's like fairly a lot of things that make me anxious. Like when like running late makes me anxious. I start getting very stressed quickly if I'm running late.
Okay.
That's something that makes me anxious. Going to the barbershop makes me anxious. That may be that may actually be tied with social anxiety, but kinda.
Right, because what's that social setting that
But
you feel uncomfortable in?
it's not really speaking, or not speaking. It's
Certain engagements
It's
that
that
can happen at a barbershop.
Right, it's that environment that I don't feel safe there. Definitely running late. Anything with time, anything that's time, and it really does tie in with like control. Because if I cannot control the time, other people running late makes me anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run late. And I'm
like,
freaking out. Yeah, there's probably more, but those are the 2 that I can think of on the top of my head. But like, yeah, I definitely know because I know I've had anxiety when I was younger, and I went to therapy and stuff for that. Like I know how to handle that.
Right.
So I'm not really worried about how to like cope with it, because I don't really believe I have it now.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have things that like still get me anxious, but it's not like anxiety. Whereas anxiety is like episodic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather being anxious is episodic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious because I'm running late. I'm anxious because I have to go. These are like separate incidents. Where social anxiety,
Right.
like
No, 'cause
having
there are
anxiety
different forms,
is like
yes.
a ongoing chronic thing. I do not have that.
Okay. You ate that.
And I think that's what I was talking about when I was talking about people on, people who claim that they have
and there's
it.
a lot of people
Right.
on the internet and the Twitters and
Yeah,
the,
but,
easy
and
to
this
do
is
that,
this is not a new thing. This is like not a new phenomenon. We're just doing social anxiety, because people before people used to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I like have to go fucking get a tea every morning. I have OCD. Like,
Right.
no, girl, you don't have OCD.
Oh, wait. Oh, like, I'm
you know,
bipolar.
people have always used, or depression, like, people have always used, like, mental illness terms and don't know actually what the term means, and they just
Right.
use it. I have depression. No, you don't. You're just sad today.
You're just sad today.
Right.
And it's okay
Right.
to be sad today, but that doesn't
And
mean
that's
that you're depressed.
You are depressed. You are depressed. But you do not have depression.
Right.
Where depressed,
Where
being
you're
depressed is
chronically depressed. Where you're
Episodic.
chronically feeling
Right.
like you're in these
Episodic
states of
and-
just yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
It's a lot. It's a lot of that.
yeah.
Let me just say that what you're listening to is a regular conversation on a regular basis. I'm really gagging that the girls are eating right now. I will chime in and say that I too actually don't have social anxiety, but I get very anxious. A lot of what Dakota mentioned is what I relate to, like i.e. running late. As I was in Uber, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna be late, and I don't. I felt mean, like jumping.
Right. You
yeah.
feel.
I hate.
But you see, like, sorry to cut you off. Even in those moments where I feel like I'm running late, I feel like I'm in control of that because I'm like, oh damn, I don't woke
Yeah,
up late. So
yeah.
I'm gonna get there when I
I'm
get
gonna-
there.
I'm
So
gonna get
I
there.
never
It's 2
get
minutes.
anxious with that.
Right.
But it's like when I'm there and I feel like
But
now I
it's-
have to
No,
present
it's-
myself. And
It's
I'm like,
the
oh,
coming
shit.
what gets me anxious.
Yes.
I do have social anxiety now. When you said the barbershop, I will say that that's only the one place where I feel the anxiety jump out, and it's not because of just being there. It's because I'm a black gay man,
Right.
and I feel like my barbershop is predominantly all West Indian.
Mhm.
They're all Jamaican. They're either all Panamanian, whatever the case is, and the way they talk and let like an actual gay person come in is a little bit more flamboyant than I am, it now gives the
Topic
side
of
eye
Right, and that's-
to the
and that's-
conversation. And they're like, and I'm sitting there like, but bitch, I've been in here for months.
And the reason why that I wouldn't consider that like social anxiety, that's because that's like safety. So your health,
Got
and
it.
that's like, you know, I'm not saying that, hold it correctly. It's an actual safety issue. As in your
yes.
life, it could be
Fight or
risk.
flight.
Right.
Whereas
Fight or flight
sometimes,
is a
right,
syndrome.
whereas sometimes in social anxiety, it is all made up.
Mhm.
It is all made up, and when we start talking about like ways to treat it and stuff, like you'll realize that there's like one thing that's tied, and it's like it's really like
Right.
not.
I just feel like when I'm at the barbershop, I'm like, some days I can get it in and out within like 30 minutes and not have an issue. There's some days where I'm in for like 2 hours and I'm like,
I can tell you that it was my barbershop experience was so like the worst of it was like in the summer, like to the point where I could not wait. I have to go in and I need to sit in a chair. So if you ask me today who's my barber, I don't know because I literally walk into any open barbershop. If it's open, I only get a shape up anyway. Don't pull it back. Don't push my hairline back. That's fine. And I walk in and I walk out.
got it.
But I don't have like a barber because I couldn't commit to one because I could not wait and I could not sit in the barbershop. I can't sit in it.
Moving on from we are now like have you ever I want to talk about the queenest of social anxiety, Miss Summer Walker.
Summer Walker, the yang.
That's the queen of
Queen of the
Social
yang,
anxiety.
yang.
That's the queen. That's the girl. I'm gonna ask.
the queen of
Me. It was me. I didn't do that. Because, however, is that she has stated that she does have social anxiety and she doesn't do well in like certain spaces. Blah blah blah. We've seen it. Blah blah blah. But some girls have said that either A, using it for clout, or B, she really doesn't have social anxiety. The cases. So I'm gonna ask each one of you. When it comes to Summer Walker, do you feel that she actually does have social anxiety, or is there like a form of social anxiety that she has displayed?
No, I
she
feel
has
like
social,
she has severe
social anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
She has social anxiety. Even when you watch her perform, her hands curl up.
Mhm.
She's in a certain position. She's in a position which is like she can't look at. That's anxiety.
Right. Well, even her award speech, she gave award. Wow, the West Indian jumped out. Award speech.
Aurora.
Award. She gave thank you, and she like walked off the stage, and they clowned for that. They made all sorts of memes and stuff. It was funny, but still, her
Right.
social anxiety was at an all-time high.
Right.
Going into Summer Walker, I also want to bring up the fact that people use anxiety for clout. I mean, they also use other mental illnesses for clout, as in depression and blah blah blah. But anxiety seems to be the new girl on the block for people to claim. Oh, I can't do this because I have anxiety. I can't go here because I have anxiety. And I've seen
literally.
You took a Twitter hiatus, so
Right. And I came back and I was gonna read everybody, but I just went back off. But no, I heard somebody say, "Oh my gosh, like this closed door is giving me anxiety," and I was like, "Girl, just open the door. It's not. It's just closed." And like I understand you can be anxious, like maybe closed doors make you anxious once again, but it's not giving you.
If
you
you're
don't
not
have
experiencing the anxiety, yeah.
You don't have anxiety with the closed door, and like that's the thing, like. People want it. I think it's like it's valid. Like maybe people have valid situations, but like you don't know the term and you're using it wrong. Right. So now it's looking like, oh my gosh, I have social anxiety, but like literally, no, you don't, because like.
And it's like fuck all of that.
I feel like the other day, you're like fine.
Yeah.
Right, and it's also different situations, right? So like. You could technically, be fine. Technically, you could be fine in the club if you have social anxiety and not speak to anybody, but have trouble verbalizing things like, I don't want to fucking do this group presentation. I don't want to speak in front of the class.
Right.
That gives me anxiety. Mm-hmm. And that's still valid, and you could say I have social anxiety and thing. I remember with Summer Walker, specifically, when they, like, pulled up, like, I think she was, like, in the street, or something. She was dancing in the street or whatever, and she had on like real pum pum shorts or whatever, and it was like she had social anxiety. This is social anxiety. And like, no, she has it. She's with
comfortable
her friends,
in her environment.
She's with her friends, and she's fine. But she doesn't want to be in front of all of y'all singing. Well, I mean, she doesn't want to be. I don't know what she wants.
My girl Summer has toured, and she's thank you so much. She called what's her name?
London,
and he does the closing.
Yeah, I saw her. She was great. I saw her. She was great. And sometimes but like even like when I like watch her real old YouTube videos, like there's a lot of bitches like she stays in her room and she plays her music and that's what she likes to do, and it doesn't give anything else. Right. I'm gonna just sit here and record my music, put it on YouTube, and that's it.
I have a question for everybody. What are some ways to help with anxiety that you would recommend? Seeing I feel like everybody here has gone through some type of anxiety, because I'm going to channel that anxiety is not just a one thing. It could be many things. So what is one thing that has helped you through your moment of anxiety? Whoever feels like going first can go.
I just feel like...
Let's jump in.
Stop labeling yourself with stuff if you are not actively trying to get yourself out of it. So stop saying, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have da-da-da, if you're not taking the active steps to say, you know what, let me try to figure out a way that I can stop trying to. I feel like a lot of people like to label themselves so they can find something to fit in with. And I'm a depression girl, I'm an anxiety girl, y'all know I'm a Wayne Gang, Sang Gang girl, and it's like, you don't have to be that. It's okay if you experience that, but you don't have to be that.
And I think that's the problem with, like, not knowing if something is clout or not. Like, because I feel like, personally, for me,
that the girls
if I did have, social anxiety or any type of anxiety, I don't think I would be, not to say that I wouldn't verbalize it, but I don't think I would. I don't know. I just don't feel like I would put it on a social media platform where I'm not getting any help from that.
It's actually drawing more attention to
honestly, it's not giving me any help. And I was gonna, and I said for me, because I was trying to make, like, I was trying to be PC, but, like, honestly, like, what do you get from social media if you put this out? You get fake gratitude, fake gratification, like, oh, it's okay, love, you'll be fine.
And once again,
what is that going to do?
That goes into, once again, wanting the validation and wanting people to pour into you, and that's never going to help your cause. If you're going through depression, it's okay to reach out to somebody. It's okay to reach out to your friends. It's okay to reach out to the people that's around you, to talk to them. reach out to me if you're going through some shit.
And you need
But
to seek help.
if you're not, you need to look within. Because that's always what it's going to come down to. The therapist is not going to be able to help you that much. Your friends ain't going to be able to help you that much if you can't look within. It's never going to be able to it's just not.
I have
What was the question?
What are some ways that like can help with anxiety that
Oh.
you've dealt with?
Me, I like long hot baths. No, for real. It's
Yes.
like a joke.
No, yeah.
But I like,
Me.
because I feel like I can like
Okay.
cut my mind off and like social anxiety.
Not everybody else.
Me thinking about this camera and recording and doing the mic is giving me so like that's why I'm over here quiet. 'Cause I'm like, do I look right while I'm talking? Like stuff like that.
Right.
So it's just like, just cut your mind off.
Right, and then it's like,
look
I'm in here, and then you gotta put yourself, and be like, no,
like, but like you said, look
yeah.
within, cut all the negative thoughts off, and like all that bullshit,
That's
and
really
just
what it is.
and just look.
But like, we talk all the time, so what you got anxiety, that's how that's what's in my head. It's like, this is how we usually talk. So what you get anxiety for, because you're in front of a mic, and you're in front, but once again, it's about control with me, because it's like, I can't control this, and I can't control that.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know how I gotta
Right.
sit, child. Am I sitting right?
Right.
Am I thinking right? That's why I'm like, no, I want to be behind the camera. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I don't want to be in front. But now it's like, no, man.
Well, treatments for social anxiety, I have like the actual stuff from reading.
Okay.
It said like if you want to help somebody with social anxiety, like you should probably like the way to do it is take it very slow in very gradual steps, so that they can confront the situation like on their terms, and make them confront the whatever situation it is that they have. So like if it's social outings, like you're gonna come with me to this party. It'll be fine. When you get too nervous, like tap me and then we'll leave. But we gotta stay for 15 minutes at least.
Right.
And you have to take it slow and easy. You have to give them a process, but don't push them too far, because if you push them too far and they get too overwhelmed, they get too anxious, they're going to retreat and they're gonna be resistant and they're never gonna do it again.
Push me.
There's therapy, and I said it before. It's called CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. And what that really is a treatment, and it really works on a person's sense of self, their self-esteem, their self-confidence, their self-concepts, and you have to make sure that the person has a lot of confidence, especially when approaching certain social situations, because anxiety is really tied to how people think about themselves. So like that's all anxiety. So that's very important, and that's what I thought was like the biggest takeaway from like all the reading that I did. And then anxiety, I'll say it again, anxiety is tied into how a person is feeling about their own self. So there's that, and then there's like and then the second part in that therapy like process is like the gradual process of like once I like figured out my sense of self, my self-esteem, and I have it. Now I do the process of like slowly but surely like working my way to do it. And they have to learn, you had said it, Brandon, but they have to learn the ability to deal with that situation on their own and be able to deal with the anxiety that comes with it. So like I know I'm going to be late, or like if I have anxiety, always have anxiety for late, but like if I have social anxiety, I know that I'm going to the party. I know that right before standing on the line to go into the club, I'm going to like start breathing heavy. I'm aware of that. So once you're like aware of that, that's like already a step further. And then there's also medicine that if like you really have a lot of panic attacks and shit, like there's medicine and stuff, but that therapy and medicine really go hand in hand. Like you can't do one without the other, because medicine is not like the save end all be all. And that's like that's for treatment. It was those two things.
Funny enough that you said social anxiety is like going through the treatment. So apparently I discovered that I actually have social anxiety when I go to parties.
Right, and sorry to cut you off really quick. This was just to add into what Dakota was talking about earlier with anxiety versus social anxiety, and in the article that I have, there is a difference in between general anxiety
Yeah.
that people face and social anxiety, and it is two different things. And I think that we need to establish that there is a difference and a definition after you tell your part, because it is a difference between the two. Some people with social anxiety experience that feeling when they have to go in front of crowds and when they have to be in certain environments and they have to interact with certain things. So with this article from the Atlantic, from this somebody, Olga Kazan, basically they were asking about anxiety, and one of the questions was, why do people feel socially anxious when they go to parties, networking events, things like that? And Stephen Hoffman said, people are social animals and we have a strong desire to be a part of a group and to be accepted by the group. Social anxiety is a result of the fear of a possibility that we will not be accepted by our peers. It's the fear of negative evaluation by others that is a part of the very fundamental biological need to be liked. That's why we have social anxiety.
And your own feelings of not, these bitches not gonna like me.
Yes, these bitches are not gonna like me.
That's in your own head. That's in your own head.
Yes.
Like, most of the time the situations are created, and that's the thing with, like, even anxiety, like, I can't
even
control,
anxiety, and even problems, even a small beef that you see on reality TV, like, did that bitch just
like,
did
even as simple as the time, like, I can't control it. Like, I woke up late and now I'm going to be late. There's nothing I can do. So why am I can't. There's nothing I can do.
I can't rush the train.
I can't rush the train. I can't. So I gotta sit here and I gotta be relaxed.
So I have social anxiety in certain parts. The last time I had social anxiety was actually at dick appointment.
Mm-hmm. Legendary dick appointment.
Right. And I love the concept. I love the party, but it was too many people for me. Yeah, in a small place. That I felt like the walls were caving in. It was too hot, and my tea was that I don't fit in, and something in me kept taking over to the point where I need to go to the car and just sleep or lay down for 5 seconds. I need to regroup myself and I'm gonna come back to it. The party was over. I love Dick Appointment down. Shout out to Dick Appointment. We love them. But for me, I felt like my first time going, I just felt like this is too much. The lights were doing too much. It was too many people, and I felt like I didn't fit in. And then me trying to fit in was only gonna exacerbate my anxiety even more. That's why I said I need to go to the car and lay down for 5 minutes. Granted, if I go back inside because I fell asleep, but I also was high, so pay it. But I felt like for me, I was like, I need to regather my thought process of what I thought the party was gonna be.
So what? Yeah. So if you were in therapy, they would say well, what made you not fit in? Who and what deemed the people that were there?
I actually
fit in.
I can answer these questions.
Yeah.
What made me feel like I didn't fit in was that the way I was dressed compared to how I used to dress, I was overdressed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my girls came out. They gave me their pieces, their lingerie. They gave, I don't give a flying fuck whose hair I'm wearing what I want. Where I was in jeans and a shirt and a baggy ass coat, which added to the heat. And then when I said what deemed me, I was like, don't get me wrong, we go to parties and I don't give a flying fuck, bitch. I bust a nasty one if I need to. But everybody at this point was going above and beyond. They weren't going above and beyond. They were being them true selves. And for me, I still felt like something was holding me back. I don't know why.
Right. And the thing I'm sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead if you need.
I was just gonna say the thing with the thing with CBT and other therapies where they do not CBT but psychodynamic, family dynamic. All those things are behavior things. So when you unpack all that shit, you go to it's a deeper reason. Right. And it's something that happened in your childhood.
Right.
Once you go through all that shit, then you're wow, okay, well now it makes sense.
Childhood, I felt like as a child I was always taught that I need to act a certain way when we go out. It gives don't embarrass me.
Don't embarrass me, right.
So I need to be no matter what the setting is, if people are acting this way, you don't need to act like them because you're coming from X, Y, and Z. So even when we go to regular parties, I'm like, yeah, I'm a drink.
Learn behavior.
But I will never get too drunk. I will never get too high. I will never do too much because at the end of the day, I need to hold myself higher than what's going on. And Dick Appointment gives be yourself. Same with Poppy Juice. these are parties that are being thrown that's supposed to and ours are coming, but it's supposed to give you represent who you are as yourself, and I'm trying to like break myself out of it. So I guess my social anxiety kicked in.
But then that also comes into who are you?
Right.
Do you know
That's
what
what I
you
was
are?
gonna say.
Right.
Do you really
Right.
know who you are?
Are you finding it? That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And
Maybe you're finding
and
yourself.
I'm learning in my, I guess, 30s that who I was trained to be is actually not who I am.
And then also, you were anxious.
Yes.
You didn't have social anxiety. You were anxious in that moment. If you're not always anxious, if you're not always, it's not every time, and it was just that incident, then you had an anxious moment.
Okay,
but you didn't have, right.
Girls are like,
Yeah, no, yeah. That's the problem. The girls don't know the difference. They just want to say
Difference. Just want to label. Label. You're not social. It's not social anxiety.
right.
It's not social anxiety because I see you out in the
and
club.
guess what? All people get anxious, and that's the thing. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. We all feel it. Just like we feel anger, we feel sad, and we feel like we feel compulsive sometimes too. Those are all feelings, and they come and go sometimes. Sometimes.
I'm gonna get that sound
Right.
Sometimes.
Some people
all the
it
time?
stays all no, and some people Some people it stays all the time, and that's when they have a serious mental illness.
Rebecca's coming over. Who's Rebecca? I don't know who that is. Now my heart is racing. Some people I don't get like that. I'm just like, all right, who your friend?
I just want to know
difference.
who's coming.
Right.
There's a difference.
I have a question. Seeing how we are 4 black gay males.
Mm-hmm. Who said I was gay? No, I'm just kidding.
Who said that?
Who said that?
I said what I said. What you said.
Do you get anxious, or do you have social anxiety when it comes to certain settings because of your sexuality and your race?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Can each one of us give like a example?
Like there are times where I don't want to necessarily go to straight parties all the time by myself without somebody, because I feel like I have to shift into the dynamics of what is going on there. And it's like, at least I don't give a fuck. But it's like, at least if I have my one friend that I know is like, all right, I have my friend who I know is just like me, so we always gonna pump wherever the fuck we gonna go.
Right.
I'm fine with that. But it's like, if I have to go by myself, once again, control. I don't know what the environment is going to be. Now I'm thinking about the worst case scenario. What happened if I have to put? What happen if I have to pull it out? What happen if I have to fight? What if it's a shakedown? Then it's like, you don't need to be thinking about all that. Maybe you just need to go.
Well, I feel like as gay men, we all deal with like how we show affection to if we're with our partner or anybody of interest we're out with.
Yes.
And maybe when I was younger, I used to like. Now I live by, I don't give a fuck. So if I want to hold your hand, touch you, I'm gonna do that. But when I was younger, I would always, even a little bit now, like I still even think about like look around where am I at? What part of Brooklyn I'm in before I could
And
reach out.
I think that is my anxiety period. Like even if maybe I was straight, I think that would be my anxiety. Just my anxiety.
Yeah,
I don't think straight people got to deal with.
But we don't have to deal with what we have to.
Right,
Yes, exactly.
No, I think
they don't.
No, that's a fact. That's a
grab
fact.
their lady or whatever.
Yes,
they don't
I
got
kind of think for that situation, like I
This
kind
is
of
true.
think for that situation, like for me, I don't know if it's because I don't really care for public displays of affection, or do I not care for public displays of affection because
But if it was different.
right? And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I don't really know the difference between those two yet, because I also really don't care for public displays of affection, but like also I don't know. Maybe that could be like the underlying reason.
Because you know the thing is, actually it's not something that I like to do all the time, but I don't mind. Like if I'm in the mood and we on 42nd Street,
Right, I think
I'm just gonna
and I will do it.
But
Right, I know I'm gonna do it.
there is a thing inside of me where it's like, even when I was young and I was dating girls, I didn't like to do all that.
Yeah, I
kissy
just
kissy
don't
in front.
like.
I don't like a hard eye.
I don't like
a
all
hard
that.
eye in front of all of me.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I think then it feels like a performance.
Yeah.
Like I don't want this out of anything. I'm doing this. Don't need to feel like a performance.
You know, like,
This is
unless
it's between us.
we in the corners, my bitches,
Yeah.
they on. Bees in the summertime.
Right.
Hitting numbers.
So weird. So for me, my I guess anxiety being black and gay comes into work. As somebody that works in human resources, I not only have to fight as a black male being in HR, I have to fight as a black gay male in HR. And a lot of jobs that I've had has given me the, oh, you work in HR? And I'm like, are you saying you as because I'm black or as I'm gay? Which one are we doing? I mean, the last couple of jobs I've had,
because HR people are usually very dead.
It gives very zombie teeth. It gives very corpse fried. Yeah, ZZZZ.
They give Matrix.
So now you get somebody that's live, like, I want to know what your issue is so I can help. They're like, oh,
so you really HR.
And then I, like lately I've gagged because they've had meeting about HRs and because I work with a team, so it's like, fuck, am I social anxiety or am I anxious about y'all talking about HR as a whole, or are you talking about because you're talking about me? Because I eat by myself. I can make everybody's good. You want tomorrow off? I got you with tomorrow off. You're good. You want $1 raise? I got you. But my anxiousness, and I don't think now that we talked about it, I really don't think I have social anxiety. I think I'm anxious about, because I'm not in control about what's going on. So certain situations put me in a predicament where I'm like, fuck.
Like, I know I don't have social anxiety.
Right, like, what should I do in this moment?
I'm gonna run my mouth. That's one thing.
Because if I really had social anxiety, I would just
one thing.
would have I'd already know. Like, I can't do this.
There's nothing else I could run my mouth. It's
right.
the
if
anxiety.
anything, bitch, I can
run my
fucking
mouth.
eat.
It's just the anxiety part.
It's the oh my god, what if?
What if?
And like you said, like, damn, bitch, do I have to curse somebody out today? Do I have to fight? Like, is somebody gonna try me? Am I gonna have to, like, oh my god? So my anxiety comes from, like, work, and the only other anxiety I ever had was that party was just like, there was a lot of people. I don't know, was that the first or the second?
That wasn't the first one, but it was a lot of people.
It just gave a lot of people. I was like,
it was a lot of people.
Fuck, like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to be like, I was like, I just need to go to the car for like 5 seconds.
My thing is, I think my anxiousness is always tied to some safety reason.
Okay, yes.
So like, same thing in Atlanta. I don't have social anxiety. I don't have that. But I did get anxious when I couldn't find the exit. I was like, where's the exit?
Right, yeah.
Where's the exit? I need to find the exit.
Yes, no, yeah, and it felt
so it wasn't social. It wasn't anything. I can interact with people, and I can not interact with people. I'm also an introvert. I do not like talking to people if I don't have to. And there's a difference. I don't have social anxiety. I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly that.
It's like I don't want to talk. So like if I am in a public situation, if I am in a public situation and like there may be too many people and I didn't get everybody's name, I may just shut up. I may just go somewhere else. I don't want to be here. So I gotta leave. Yes. I'm not talking because I'm not here.
That was me at the party. I was like,
yeah.
I was dancing. I wasn't like, I was in the corner like, oh my god, I'm shook. I danced, and then it's just one moment of like the party. I guess like DJ switched, and like for me, people laugh, and I'm like, the air just smelled different. Nothing necessarily happened. There was no type of situation, but just the air smelled different for me, and I just clicked to like, wait, where am I again?
Well, now you did that in Atlanta too, so that's already. Yeah, I left early too.
I did. I had to go to the car.
That's 2 incidents already.
Wow.
When you begin to become more sensitive to energy and where you are in the moment, sometimes it's not just the anxiety. Sometimes when you know that you are not supposed to be in a certain place, and that is not to say like the clubs are low vibrational and but sometimes when you get to that moment where you're checking in with yourself.
Right.
Your higher self, who is like, bitch, why are you here?
Why are you here?
Why are you here? You said you want to go home, so just go.
And a lot of times we know that before we even go out.
And
when these moments happen, it's just like, I'm
such
a logical person. I'm just like, this is, of course, this is happening tonight. Like,
you should say
I look at you like, I'm
just
just check out because I just knew this wasn't going to be a good idea. So
I just knew I didn't want to go.
I'm in Atlanta. Something in Atlanta just told me
not something in the water.
That was Like there was a moment Dakota and I and Demi were standing on the wall and we were just watching like people. It felt like a Family Guy episode. That was
Saturday night.
What club is this?
Saturday Saturday night.
And we were just watching because we couldn't find you. We couldn't find Keith. We couldn't find Keith. It was given MIA. We were standing on the wall and we was just watching people. I'm like, it's this much niggas in Atlanta.
You know what shook
How
me?
much niggas live in Atlanta?
You know what actually
bruh?
shook me? I said,
Oh, in the Marietta. I said, no, it's too much.
On the wall there was a mirror. I looked at myself and I
Too
could
much.
see me.
It's too much.
You couldn't see you, or you didn't recognize yourself.
I didn't recognize myself. And I
So-
said, no, I gotta go to the car. I gotta reset.
Gotta reset.
I said, and I told Coda, I said, Coda, I'm gonna go to the car. Coda's like, you got it? I said, yeah, bitch. You got it.
He was like, I'm about to pass out. I was like, girl, I was about to pass out 5 minutes ago, but I gotta find keys.
Coda said, are you okay? I said, I'm good. I gotta go to the car. I said, give me the keys, give me the keys.
The vibration.
I sat in the front seat and I
Too
said,
low.
and
trying to vibrate
literally
high.
like how Brandon was talking about how the words came in, that's how mine was going, and it was like,
Maybe it was that space that we were standing in, because literally you left.
And that's
Brandon
why
went to the
when
bathroom.
we was in that section. I kept
No,
on saying
not that space.
I didn't like
not
that.
that
I didn't like
space.
that.
But
I didn't
yes,
like that.
no,
I
not
didn't like
Jamaican
that club.
It was
No,
just
no, no,
between
not
the
no,
that.
lines.
not that
Right.
little corner. We was in between both those two.
I was trying to
spots.
vibrate high. Opera had me vibrating low. I'm sorry, Opera. Was that the club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opera.
The Atlanta girl say is another name for
Operation.
Well, it's not.
We
Opera
love you,
anymore.
Atlanta
It's now
girls.
a new. It's formerly known as Opera.
Formerly
Yeah.
known.
Shout out to the Atlanta girl.
We love you, ain't
It was cute. I'm never going back.
We're never going back for MLK weekend. We'll go back.
We love that. We like the Atlanta girl. We
Shout out
love
to
that
DC.
Atlanta
We'll
girl.
see you soon, but that's neither here nor there.
DC.
We love the professional girls.
I love my
We love the brunch girls.
Yeah, wow. This is actually a really good. We ate this, guys.
We did.
Wow.
Love you, Miss Katie.
I want to ask you guys for closing remarks.
Yes.
As we've discussed now, the difference between anxious and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
or social anxiety, what is one thing that you want to portray to the listeners going forward dealing with social anxiety, and I'm going to use quotation marks, if they actually have it? Anybody can jump in first.
Well, I just feel like this is just more of a reason just to take it easy on people, period.
Got it.
Like, let people, we're all dealing with something, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And people just need people to be patient with them.
Okay.
That's really just my main thing. Take it easy. Let's take it easy
I
on
feel
each other
that.
for real.
Yeah.
And just be patient and kind.
Take it
Uh,
easy.
I mean, you don't
Black History Month.
have to do anything like
Black History Month.
Yes,
Take it
ma'am.
easy on y'all fucking people, y'all.
No, for real.
Take it
Take it
fucking
easy.
easy.
Because we got
Yourself.
generational anxiety. We have,
generational
like you said,
trauma. This
like
month
you-
is a month to heal. If y'all need generational trauma tips, if y'all need anything, hit me up.
Hit-
Y'all know the mystical girls. Hit me up. Because it's all about elevating the people that have come before you. So if you're not elevating your people in this
okay, you
month,
cut me off.
sorry, baby. Do
Thank
your
you.
thing.
Yeah, so. No, I'm sorry, no.
You know you good. You was eating that. You was eating that.
How about you?
I felt
No.
that.
You promote on your remarks.
Oh, yeah.
No promote on my remarks.
Do that.
Like I was saying, no, for real. Let's just take it easy on each other. That's
Take
my.
it fucking
That's what
easy.
my thing was that.
Okay, that's it. Take it easy. I felt that.
Take it easy on yourself too.
And take it
Yes,
easy.
y'all know my spiel. Pour
Brandon,
into
go ahead,
you.
Brandon. Here's your 10.
No, that's it. I'm done. That's it. Y'all know my spiel though. Pour into you. That's all. That's always me. Pour into you. If you pouring into everybody else more than you pouring into yourself, that's a problem. Stop pouring into men. Stop pouring into this. Stop pouring into money. Stop pouring into all of these things. Stop pouring into material shit. You want a car. You want a house. You want this. You want all that. Pour into you. If you're not pouring into your self-mastery and who you are and figuring yourself out, stop getting lost in the sauce. And that's where a lot of y'all depression and anxiety and all y'all little things be coming from. Y'all don't be pouring into yourself and y'all spend so much time pouring into society and people and all of these little social program and shit
And
that
Twitter,
everybody tell you
Instagram,
and Twitter and Instagram and the vision and how you want to look and how you want to be seen and who's looking at me and let me put it out here for this person. You go to the gym and get your body up and you still insecure. Do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up.
You are not your pain.
Ooh.
You are not your pain.
Yeah, that's for us in here sound like old black women.
Literally.
Ooh, yeah.
And like honestly,
No, for real.
honestly, like
Yeah.
you can't. Like you cannot get stuck in a loop. Like just you're gonna keep living and you're gonna keep doing that same thing and just loop, and you're gonna be like, why am I still working at Target? Like, why, if it doesn't make you happy? Because some people are happy at Target. You can tell when they are.
I'm happy at
but why am I still working here? Why am I still why am I still living here? Da, 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 da. Always why? But you keep doing the same thing and you're getting the same results because you're not doing anything differently. So you have to address the pain, you have to look at the pain, you have to see what the pain is, and you have to deal with the pain.
And you know when you want more.
Right.
You know when you want more. It's okay sometimes, but I know when I want more. But sometimes people ask all the time, what's the blockage? Why am I getting blockages? I hear that question all the time. Where is these blockages coming from? And I'm like, sometimes, exactly what you just said. The blockage is you, baby. And that's not to blame. It's not a blame. And it's not a push blame. Sometimes the blockage is accountability. And it's okay. There's times when you just have to look in the mirror and go, you know what? Maybe the reason why I'm end up with this same type of man is because of me. Maybe I just keep accepting those same type of people. And it's okay that we not, listen, because y'all know the social Twitter, they like to flip shit. We not blaming nobody. We're not blaming rape victims. We're not blaming none of that. Don't put my word. Y'all know y'all like to twist words. We're not saying that. All we saying is,
get off the phone.
Get off the phone.
Unplug. Unplug.
Get off the phone.
My closing remarks is that your storyline doesn't have to be the same storyline.
It don't have to be this. You know what? End the fucking episode.
Every season don't have to be the same.
Cut the fucking mic off. Cut her fucking mic off. Cut her fucking mic off.
Every season doesn't have to be the same storyline. At some point, when are you going to wake up and be like, bitch, I need a new storyline? Your storyline is boring.
You're about to get cut. You're about to get canceled.
Andy said you're gonna get cut.
The producers are not.
Andy said you're about to get cut.
Every season, you still building this house.
Sheree, that was season 4.
Sheree's giving 6
Chateau.
I'm gonna call Chateau to Ray when I see Chateau to Ray.
I'm gonna call it Chateau.
So I need you to be realistically
Chateau. She get
more than what you are.
Phaedra, you visit. What did you say?
But realistically, like, I get it. You may go through this, but at what point are you gonna wake up and say, "Am I gonna be the butt of the joke, or am I still gonna be the joke?" Like, this storyline can't be the same storyline over and over again. At some point, you have to say, "You know what? I'm going through this, but I'm gonna try and make myself better." It's a brand new year. It's a brand new decade. All that shit that happened to you in 2019 and before, let it go. Like,
hurry up.
I get it. I understand it. Nobody's knocking you for it. But at some point, you have to say, "I'm not gonna do this no more." You're not 16 no more. You're not 17 no more. Like, you're an adult.
Yeah.
And when we say this, we talking to ourselves too.
Right.
I'm talking to myself.
You know,
I hope y'all know that. I'm talking to myself. It's me.
Literally.
I've lived it. I've done it. I'm talking to myself.
Because one time I just said, I don't want to be.
That's
I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be sad no more. I don't want to be sad no more.
I don't want to be sad no more.
And guess what? I'm hardly sad.
I'm hardly sad. They gave, why am I in a relationship? Well, why are you in it?
I'm down maybe 2 minutes.
You said, why are you in a relationship? Why are you in a relationship? Get out. Get out. And it's like, you out.
Carry.
Start saying names. They're going to say names.
It's one more season, so we start calling names.
No, you said season 3. I can call out names.
I guess we're calling names this season. So if you have,
Dante motherfucker sit down.
Cut on Michael. Cut fucking Michael.
Thank you guys for listening to the brand new episode of Spill Milk. We have so much planned for you, and you are going to literally throw up. You're not going to gag, you're going to throw up. We are coming to a state near you because the girls are traveling. It's always going to be a kickback. It's always going to be a brunch. The girls gag.
When we feel it.
But the parties that we have, you have no choice but to come out. Period.
No, we think that. Y'all know what we do.
You've been to parties,
y'all know how we party. Y'all know how y'all party with us. Y'all know party with us.
And we have a house DJ that's going to eat, bitch. Every episode you get a fucking playlist. Gag.
Yes.
I'm gagging. For me.
One dropping tonight.
One dropping
right after this.
Right after you listen to this, go straight to
Spotify. This is for the girls.
Social anxiety girls.
This is for the girls with social anxiety. And then you can transition slap. We listen to the playlist 2 days before.
And I'm never. No, hold on.
Go ahead.
because this is not even
She's
for
serious.
no for real. This is not for like just social anxiety. It's for just to people who's dealing with anything. This is just to clear your mind,
Clear your
feel
mind.
good, do what you gotta do, dance it out. I know people who like to like just dance in their room, lip sync,
Yes.
cry, meditate to it,
Clear your mind,
do all
baby.
that you need to do. That's my treatment for anything and
Clear
any
your
type of
mind.
anxiety or you're just up in arms and you're not right.
You are listening to DJ Papa
Say
DJ
that how many
Papa
days.
DJ Papa Daddy.
All right, daughters. We love you so much, and we will hear you next time.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me. Legendary Butch Queen, legendary Butch Father.
That was nasty.